Welcome to International College version DVDs. My name is Alfredo Martinez and I'm gonna be your instructor on the program on the DVDs for Excel. Okay, now Excel we're gonna divide Excel into 14 different chapters. Okay, plus another one which is gonna be the introduction. Okay, today we're gonna be doing the introduction and we're gonna learn how to open up the software, okay, which is Excel 2010. If you guys don't have the desktop, if you guys don't see the icon on the desktop, we're gonna need to go into the start menu. From the start menu, we're gonna need to scroll up and then look for the PowerPoint program. If it is not listed here on the start menu, okay, then we're gonna have to go to the all programs link, and from here we're gonna scroll down by clicking on this arrow. By clicking on this arrow, we're gonna scroll down until we see the folder for Microsoft Office. Then we're gonna click once. Once we click on it, then we're gonna see the PowerPoint. Okay, from here, what we could do is just right click on it, and we could either create a shortcut by going to the send to, okay, and send it to the desktop, okay, or we could also pin the program to the taskbar. Or we could also pin the program into the start menu. Okay, for now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pin the program into the taskbar. By clicking once, now we have the program right here on the taskbar. This is our taskbar. Okay, so from now on, because we're gonna be using PowerPoint very often, let's say that we're gonna be using PowerPoint very often, then from here we could access PowerPoint. And there is the program. Okay, now to remove this icon, I'm just simply gonna right click on it, and then I'm gonna click on unpin. Okay, now we're gonna pin the Excel program. So again, we go back to the start menu. From the start menu, we go to all programs. From all programs, we go to Microsoft Office, and from here we look for the Microsoft Excel. Then we right click on it, and then we click on pin to start menu. Okay, or we could also use the pin to start to text bar. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the text bar. Just click on it. Okay, and now the icon is gonna be displayed here. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and open this document that I already have it. This is one of the projects that you guys are gonna be working on it. This is how you guys are gonna receive this file. Okay, and the way that you guys are gonna receive the files is with all the data. Okay, the customers' names, last names, and then we're gonna have the numerical entries. On the numerical entries, we're gonna have charge 1, charge 2, and from there we're gonna be creating formulas. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and open up a new book to get into the introduction. So we're gonna click on the file. Once we click on file, we're gonna go to new. Once we click on new, we're gonna have available templates. Okay, templates are pre-designed documents that just ask for information to be filled in. In this case, we're gonna go with a blank workbook. So we double click on it, and this is how Excel always is gonna open up at the beginning. Okay, now on the Excel, we're gonna have the first column of tools. That is called the quick access toolbar. Okay, this is what it's called, the quick access toolbar, because we have a couple of different tools to have access directly to them. The way that we're gonna be able to add more tools into the quick tool access bar is gonna be by clicking on this little arrow, and from here we could add different options. For example, right now I'm gonna go ahead and add the email link or tool, and there it is. Okay. Okay. So from there, in the middle, all the way on the top in the middle, we're always gonna have the name of the book. Okay, now, like I was saying before, every time that we open up Excel, okay, we're gonna have a book. Okay, why is color book? It's color book because we're gonna have one, two, three different sheets. Okay, so every book is always gonna have three sheets, and that is why it's called a book. Now each of these little tabs is gonna be called sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet number 3. Okay, so up here we're gonna have the name of the document. Always gonna be book 1, book 2 until we go ahead and save the document. Okay, from there we're gonna have the file. Okay, once we click on the file, we're gonna have access into the backstage. That's what is this called. It's the backstage. All this area right here. Okay, from here we have access into different options. Okay, from here we could go to save as, open, close, info, go to the recent documents, etc., etc. Okay, so we have the tab for the file tab. After the file tab, we have the home tab. Once we click on the home tab, we're gonna have the ribbon. All this bar right here is called the ribbon. On the ribbon, we're gonna have different tools. Okay, now these tools are grouped on different categories. Okay, those categories are all right here at the bottom. Okay, for example, this is the clipboard group. Then we have the font group, the alignment group, number group, styles group, cells group, and the editing group. Okay, and from there we also gonna have this little arrow, which if we click on it, it's just gonna go ahead and open up more options for us. Okay, so we click back again on the little arrow and it closes. On the font group, we're gonna click on the little arrow and it's gonna display more options for us for use on the font. Okay, well, from here we could change to numbers, the alignments, font, borders, fill, protection. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and close it. Same thing on the alignment. Okay, we have another little arrow that is called the text launcher. Okay, so we click on the text launcher and it opens more options for us. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the insert tab. Once I click on the insert tab again, as you can see, the whole ribbon changes. Okay, and now we have more options. And same thing, all these groups are gonna be separated by a name. For example, we have the tables group, illustration group, the chart group, the sparklines group, and etc., etc. If we go to the page layout, again, the whole ribbon changes and we have different groups, and some of these groups are going to have the text launcher to open up more options for us. There's our formula tab, data tab, review, view, add-ins. I'm going to go back to the home. And like I said before, this is the ribbon. That's where most of the tools are going to be in display. Okay, now on the right hand side, we always are going to have this minus. Okay, this is like a little minus sign. Okay, which is going to minimize the window. Okay, this is the program, the software. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and click once. When I click, it just minimizes. Okay, like the little screen tip says, minimize the screen to the text bar. If I come right down here, okay, and I click on it, I'm gonna have two different sheets open. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the book one, and it's been displayed again. If we click on the little box, it's just gonna restore down. Okay, it's gonna restore down the window. It's just gonna make it a little smaller. Okay, now these windows, when we have it right like in this size, we can always move these windows, okay, around depending on what we need. For example, I'm just gonna go ahead and click on the name. I'm gonna hold down my left button on the mouse, and from there I just drag it into a different location. okay, depending on what I need. So just left click, hold down the left button, and then drag it to the new location. So I'm gonna go ahead and click again on the little box to expand it. And then we have the X. If we click on the X, we're just gonna go ahead and close the document. As well, we're gonna be closing the software. Okay, now as you can see, we have another pair of signs for the minus, restore down, or maximize, and the close window. From here, we click on it. It's just a window, okay, for our chart. This is gonna minimize. Okay, so if we click again on the minus, it's just gonna minimize, but the book that we currently have display. Okay, so right now we have book one and we have the other for this hospital. Okay, now we just click on it, on the little bar on the top, and from there we click on restore. Once we click on restore, we could always go back to the little box and click on it just to maximize the window. Okay, now pay attention in this particular error right here, okay, because I've seen a lot of the students that, by mistake they just click there without even notices, and then they lost, they don't see the ribbon anymore. Okay, so they only see the ribbon when they go back up here and click on the home tab, and then the ribbon is displayed again. Okay, so when we come up down here to our bookwork or sheet, it disappears again. Okay, so you can always go back up here, just click on it, and the ribbon is gonna be displayed all the time, which I recommend to have it displayed all the time. Okay, now from there we're gonna have the name box. The name box is this little box right here. Okay, this name box is gonna tell me exactly where we at. For example, if I go down here into my sheet and I click on it, as you can see we have the G letter highlighted and we have the number 8 highlighted. Why? Because we are in the cell that is called G8. So each of these little cells of squares are gonna be called cells, and each cell has its unique name. Okay, for example, in this one, this is the cell B4. Okay, and every time I click on a different cell, the L and the number is gonna be highlighted on orange color. As well, on the name box is also gonna be displayed. For example, right there it's telling me that we are located in we have highlighted the cell L4. And from here, let's say that I want to go to cell C1000. So I'm gonna type here 1000 by pressing enter. As you can see now my cell is being highlighted, the cell C1000, which is this one right here. Okay, so from here, instead of scrolling down, scrolling up, I just could go to the name box, click on it, and let's say that I want to go back all the way to the top, so I just type in A1, press enter, and I'm back all the way to the top. Okay, so that is the name box. We have the formula bar. The formula bar, we have a couple of different formulas. Okay, and we're gonna be using formulas. Okay, for example, right here we're just gonna type in some numbers. Okay, just to have an idea of what the formulas are going to be doing for us. And right here we're going to have 45. And one more. Okay, so right here we just have numbers. Okay, so we're going to see one sample of the formulas. Okay, let's say that we want to add these numbers. So we could highlight the cell where the result is gonna be displayed. So in this case, it's gonna be, we want the result to be on cell B7. Okay, from here we could either go to the fx, okay, which is gonna be our formula bar, and from here we could select the sum and click OK. Once we click OK, the function argument is gonna be displayed. The function argument is telling me that Excel is gonna be adding cell B3 through B6. So we have B3, 4, 5, and 6. So the information that we have is correct. Okay, and as you can see, the function argument is already giving me the result right here. So if I just go ahead and click on OK, my result is gonna be displayed right there. So that is the total of these 4 cells. Okay, on the next one, what I'm gonna do one, but I'm gonna do it manually. Every time that we type in a formula, we have to begin with the equal sign. So once we click on the, we type in the equal, we're gonna highlight or click on the cell that we're gonna be using, and in this case, we're gonna just do a minus. Okay, so we're gonna deduct 25 out of 4587. So the formula is gonna be equal D3 minus 25, and then hit enter. So 4587 minus 25, this is the result. Okay, the next one, on the next one we're gonna multiply. So I'm just gonna begin with equal sign, highlight the first cell, then I'm gonna be using the asterisk. The asterisk is gonna be working as a multiplicator, and then we're gonna click on the second cell and then press enter. So the multiplication of 587 times 45 is 26,415. The last one, again we begin with the equal sign, we click on 789, and in this time we're going to be using the forward slash. The forward slash is going to be working as our divider. Okay, so we type in the forward slash and then click on the number 4 and hit enter. Okay, so the division of 789 by 4, it is 197.25. Okay, so these are some of the formulas, of the basic formulas that we're going to be working on it. As you can see, when we click on the result, the formula is also displayed up here. Okay, so click on it and there's the formula. So every time we start a formula, the formula is going to begin with the equal sign. Okay, from there, like I said, these are called cells. Every time we click on it, that's going to be your active cell. Once that cell is active, we could go ahead and start typing in numbers, letters, okay, and pretty much we could type in any information. Okay, then we have a very important tool. This tool, you guys are probably gonna be using it a lot. Okay, that is called the undo button. Okay, if we click on it, let's say that right here I made a mistake, I could always use the undo, and as you can see, the second text is gone, the other one is gone. If I keep clicking, see, the numbers are gonna be disappearing. And I could always also go forward. So by clicking on it, it's just gonna bring back the data. Okay, and another way to delete data is just by clicking on the cell and then click on the delete key. Okay, let me go ahead and bring up my keyboard. Okay, this is my keyboard. Okay, and like I was saying, see, if we click on it, we could also use the keyboard to delete information. So I just go ahead and click on the cell B12, and on the keyboard I just click on delete and it's gone. I highlight Alfredo, click on delete and it's gone. Okay, now on the keyboard, this is a little different keyboard Okay, because every keyboard he just have a couple of different keys, but it's pretty much the same. Okay, now the equal sign. The equal sign is up here. Select. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on a different cell. Okay, and every time that I wanna use this plus, so I'm gonna hold down the shift key and click on it, and there's my plus sign. Okay, so if I wanna use the minus is gonna be the the dash. The dash is gonna be working as a minus sign. Okay, and then we have the forward slash. The forward slash is down here. Okay, so if I just click on it, it's just gonna go ahead and bring the forward slash, which is gonna be working as a divider. Okay, and then the asterisk. The asterisk is gonna be displayed here on the key number 8. But we have to hold down shift and then click on the number 8, and there is the asterisk. Okay, now let's say that I click right here, right? Right now we are on the edit mode. Okay, the edit mode is when we could go ahead and start typing in data again into a cell. Let's say that I don't want to type in anything or make any changes. Okay, so I'm gonna be using the escape key. Once I click on the escape key, okay, I'm gonna exit the edit mode. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and close my on-screen keyboard, and we're gonna continue. Okay, on the right hand side we're gonna have the scroll bar. Okay, this bar right here is the scroll bar. Okay, so I could just click on it, left click, hold it down and drag it down. Okay, or we could always use this arrows, just click 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 click, and as you can see my sheet is scrolling down. Or by using the other one, okay, I'm gonna scroll up. Okay, and from there, okay, remember that Excel is always gonna be with columns. Each of these columns is gonna be displayed by a letter. Okay, so from here we could go all the way to a total of 16,384 columns. Okay, if we just go ahead and click on this arrow, as you can see now the letters are changed to AO, AP, AQ, and if you continue scrolling to the right, it's just gonna continue changing. And like I said, we could go all the way up to 16,384 columns. Okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Control Home tab, and by doing that, I'm just gonna go back to cell A1. If I'm not able to do that, then I type here A1, hit enter, and I'm back all the way to A1. Okay, and that's the columns. Okay, on the rows we could have up to 1,048,000 and sorry, yeah, 1,048,576 rows all the way down. See, so far we are on the 183 row, and we could go all the way down to 1,048,576 rows. Okay, by saying that, it means that on these spreadsheets, that's why they have the name spreadsheets, because these are sheets that expand so long, on which we could have so much information. Okay, okay, good. Now we have the scroll bar. Okay, we could scroll to the right side or scroll to the left. Okay, and then down here we have the sheet number 1, sheet number 2, and 3. We could always rename those sheets by double click on it, and then in this example we're just gonna type in introduction and hit enter, and there it is. So now this sheet has the name of introduction, and we have more sheets. We go with right click on it and delete, right click and then delete. So now on this book I only have one sheet. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and go to file. From here I'm gonna go to close. I'm gonna close this document. So we always gonna have the dialog box. Okay, the dialog box is gonna be asking you, do you want to save the changes you made to book one? Okay, and it's very important until we get very familiar with Excel, okay, to read that information. In this on this case, I'm gonna click don't save because I don't need it. Okay, now I'm just gonna open another book. Okay, and I'm just gonna do something real quick here. Okay, to get a better idea of what we're gonna be able to do with Excel. Okay, on Excel you're gonna be able, for in this case, create balance reports. Okay, we could always also create like payrolls. We could also create inventories and etc, etc. Okay, so in this case, for example, this is the balance report for a hospital. Okay, we have the on column A we have last names, charge 1, charge 2, and total charges. Okay, and right here we already have one sample. Okay, the sample, we have a formula. Okay, and the formula is being displayed on the formula bar. So we have the EC9 plus D9, and as you can see, we are adding charge number 1 and charge number 2. Okay, so the way we do this is just by typing in equal, click on the first cell, then input my plus sign, and then click on the second cell and hit enter. Okay, on the next one we're gonna multiply, so we're gonna type in equal. Okay, and we're gonna select the total charge, and then we're gonna be using the asterisk because we're gonna multiply that by 85%, which is the responsibility of the insurance. So the insurance responsibility will be this amount. Okay, so the rest, okay, of the bill is gonna be responsibility of the patient. So right here we're gonna type in equal, we're gonna be using the total, asterisk, and then click on the 15%. By clicking enter, now we have the total responsibility for the patient. So the patient has a balance of 1,549. Okay, on these cells right here we already have also formulas. Okay, and the formula is just gonna be displaying the information. As you can see, this is the receipt payments insurance. Okay, so the insurance is gonna be taking care of this part. So now we just have to worry about the patient. Okay, and then we have on column A, okay, it's telling us that the patient already paid, in this case, $75. Okay, right here we have another formula which we could see up here on the formula bar. Or if we double click on the cell, it's gonna be displaying the cells that we are using to get this result. In this case, we're using the 85%, okay, which is responsibility for the insurance. Okay, the insurance already paid their part. Okay, so over here we have F10 minus F H10. So we have a zero balance from the insurance. Okay, now right here we're gonna get the patient sub balance. Okay, remember they already paid 75. So we're gonna get the result, and the amount is gonna be by typing in equal. Then we're gonna go to the total, use a minus, and then click on the 75 and hit enter. So the customer has a balance of 1473.90. From here, the patient is gonna receive a discount. So we're gonna type in equal, click on the sub balance, Okay, and then we're gonna multiply that by the 9.5 because the patient is gonna receive a discount of 9.5%. We hit enter and they're gonna have a discount of $140.02. Okay, and on the next one, again equal. Now we're gonna use in the the sub balance, and then we're gonna be deducting the amount, which is the 9.5, and hit enter. So the total balance for this patient is gonna be 1,323 and 88 cents. And from there we're gonna divide this amount into 12 monthly payments. So we're gonna type in equal, click on cell M10. Okay, and from here we're gonna be using the divider and click on the 12, number 12, because it's gonna be divided by 12, and hit enter. Okay, so the patient is gonna have a 12 monthly payments of $111.16. Okay, now we're gonna see why it is very important to know or learn Excel. Okay, once we have the formulas, we have a lot more other customers, correct? And we have a total of another 15 customers. Okay, so once I have the first formula, all I'm gonna be using is a fill handle. As you can see, I move my cursor to the edge, and now I have this little dark X. Once I see the little X, I'm gonna left click on my mouse. I'm gonna hold it down, and then I'm gonna drag my cursor down all the way to cell E25. Once I reach there, I'm gonna release my left button, and there is. Now I have all the totals for all the customers, all the patients. I'm gonna go to the next cell and I'm gonna do the same thing using the fill handle. Left click, hold it, and drag it. Okay, now this is gonna be a little tricky, okay, because now I'm trying to use a cell that is completely out. So I'm gonna have to go up here, okay, and then the column I'm gonna have to type in a dollar sign before and after the column letter, and hit enter. So now I'm just gonna go back, and again I'm gonna use the fill handle, and now I have the correct amounts. Okay, on the next one I'm gonna have to do the same thing. I'm gonna go to the formula bar, and before the G I'm gonna type in a dollar sign, and after the G again the dollar sign, and hit enter. Once I do that, I'm gonna be able to use the fill handle to copy the formulas. Okay, on this one right here I'm gonna double click just to see which cells I'm using. Okay, and then I'm gonna use the fill handle, and there's my totals. The next one I'm gonna have to do it again on the LA. The L has to be between two dollar signs. Okay, by inputting the $2 I'm gonna be able to copy the formula. So left click and then drag it down. Okay, on this one I don't need to input the dollar signs. See? And you see how easy it is to get my results. Okay, so we have to be very detailed on the first formula that we created. Once we have the first formula created, we don't have to worry about anything. We could just copy the formula. Okay, now from here is we have a label. This label is asking for totals, so the total is gonna be on the intersection of C27, which is the name of this cell C27. And now I'm gonna be using a different tool. Now I'm gonna be using the AutoZone. Okay, so by clicking on the AutoZone on the drop arrow, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and click on sum. As you can see, Excel is already inputting a formula which begins again with the equal sign, and is inputting sum parentheses C9 column C26, and then the parenthesis closes. Okay, right here I'm just gonna make sure that I go ahead and select the cell. So I left click and I drag it just to select the cells that I'm gonna be using for my total. Once I do that, I hit enter and there is my total. And from here again, I'm gonna use the fill handle, okay, to copy the formula, only the formula, and the formula is gonna be giving me all the results, the total for all these columns. Every time that you guys see this number signs, the number signs are displayed when Excel doesn't have enough room to display the information. In this case, those numbers. So I'm just gonna go up here between the A and the F and double click, and there is the number is completely displayed. We have another one over here, double click, and there it is. Okay, from here we're gonna get the maximum number. We want to get the maximum number out of these cells. So again, we're gonna go back to the AutoZone. From here, we're gonna go to max. Once I click on max, there is my formula equals max, and then I'm gonna go ahead and highlight the cells that I'm gonna be using again. Hit enter. Once I have that, I'm gonna get the maximum number for each of all the columns. And on the next one, it's asking for a min, the minimum number. So we go back to the AutoZone, click on min, and again I highlight the cells A9 through, C9 through C25, and hit enter. Once I have that, again use the fill handle. There's all the minimum number for each column. Okay, and from here we're gonna get the average. The average also is gonna be displayed up here into the AutoZone. We have the average formula. We click on it. We have equal average, and then we have the formula, the cells that we're gonna be using. So I have to come up here and again highlight the cells that I'm gonna be using and hit enter. Once I have that, okay, I'm gonna be using the fill handle. By using the fill handle, I'm gonna have the average for each particular column. Okay, you see guys how easy. Okay, once we have the first formula, the rest is very easy. Okay, from here I'm gonna go ahead and just make it look better. Okay, this chart, mm-hmm, this sheet. So I'm just gonna go ahead and highlight cells A1 through N1, and I'm gonna be using the merchant center. By using the merchant center, it's gonna be merging all those cells and centering the text. From here, I'm just gonna go ahead and make it a little bigger. I'm gonna give him some background color, and we're gonna change the color also. Okay, then here we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna highlight it, use the merchant center, and for example right here I'm just gonna go ahead and input today's date, which is 10/21/2010. Okay, to this one I'm just gonna add the bold, and again I'm gonna use a highlight. And the balance report, again also I'm gonna be using all the cells across from A4 through N4. Use the merchant center. I'm gonna use another fill, and another fill, and then the balance report we're gonna change it to a white color so it will stand up, and also add the ball. Okay, so there's my chart. Okay, once we have it created, we could always go to file and then go to print. From the print we're gonna be able to see the chart. Now we still have to make a couple of more changes here, okay, because if we print this, we're gonna have two different sheets. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and try to put everything in one. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna change the portrait orientation to landscape. Okay, so we still have information on the second one. Okay, from here we're gonna use the custom margins. Okay, and we still have mhm, information that is gonna be typed into the second sheet. Okay, and from here we're gonna go ahead and click on file again and go back to our document. Okay, and from here we're just gonna need to make some of these columns a little smaller. Okay, just so that we can have everything fit into one sheet. Okay, this one won't be possible, that one won't be possible. Okay, because those numbers. Okay, now we could also do something else. Okay, once we go into the print preview, we're gonna have these lines. Those lines are telling me how much space we have to place all the data into one sheet. Okay, now this is what we're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and highlight all the numbers down here for totals, maximum, minimum, and average. And then we're gonna right click, and then we're gonna go to format cells. On the format cells, we're gonna go to numbers, and inside the numbers, I'm gonna ask Excel to do not input any decimal places. Okay, because we just need to save some room. And now, as you can see, we have whole numbers. Okay, now that we have whole numbers, we're gonna be able to work on the columns, just make them a little smaller. So, because the main purpose here is that we wanna be able to print everything into one single sheet. So I just go up here. Okay, this text is gonna have to be changed. So I'm just gonna type. Okay, so that we can make the column smaller. Okay, we have the insurance. Okay, and in this case, for example, the insurance, we don't need the insurance. Okay, because we already know that they already pay. So we're gonna go ahead and delete, right click and delete this whole column. Okay, so there you go, it's gone. Okay, and now we're gonna continue working. Okay, to try to get everything into one single sheet. Okay, from here we're gonna go back to the print option, and like I say, we still have two sheets to print. Okay, so from here, okay, we're gonna go to the no scaling. From the no scaling, we have an option that says fit sheet on one page. So we just click on it, and now everything is gonna be fit into one page. And from here we print this out. That's exactly the way it's gonna look when it's printed. And from here we could just go to print, and it will be printed out. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back. Okay, I'm gonna go back to file, and then I'm gonna click on save as. Once I click on save as, I'm gonna go to my documents. Inside my documents, I already have created a folder for Excel 2010 projects. Double click on it, and then we're gonna go ahead and change the name. Just click on the file name and change it to Cedar's Introduction to Excel. Something that I always like to have is the dates. I always like to have the dates because it's gonna be easier to keep track of all your documents by dates. Okay, from here we click on save, we go back to file, click on exit, and there you go. So that will be the end of the introduction to Excel, and that's one of the things that we're gonna be able to do with Excel. Thank you very much for your attention. Again, my name is Alfredo Martinez, and I will see you in the next chapter, which is gonna be chapter 1. Okay. From now on every chapter, we're just gonna open up different documents and do some exercises. Okay. As we do each exercise, we're gonna be learning different tools that Excel has to offer us. Okay, thank you for your attention and have a great day. Until next time. Bye bye.